Good morning, all. Welcome to this session on Algomojo and its features. We have launched quite a few uh, features which will help traders and investors to uh, maximize their profits and minimize their losses. Uh, my name is Lokesh. I'm part of Algomojo team. Hope my audio is okay. Please use the Q&A box to confirm. And this session is getting recorded and will be available for all the participants to view at a later date also. Now, in case if you have any queries, kindly use the Q&A box. I'll try and answer them as we go along. That's fine. Thanks for the confirmation. We will start with a small presentation and then get into the actual platform usage, and we will see some examples using TradingView and if required, if Amibroker also, in case if anybody is interested as to how to do the automation part of it. Yes. We will start with the agenda with an introduction to Algomojo platform and its features. And we'll get into TradingView integration. And if required, if anybody is keen on looking at Amibroker, we can try and do that. A small brief about Algomojo support and Q&A. As I said, if you have any specific queries, if you need any specific details, any clarifications during the course of the session, please raise them. I'll try and answer them. Our website is algomojo.com, and we are a web-based algo execution platform. We are not a strategy provider. We are an execution platform. Suppose you have any strategies that you would like to automate. We are there to help you out in terms of automating your strategies to place orders into your broker account. It is designed for traders to automate the signals which you run or strategies which you run in your charting platform, which would generate the buy sell signals. We carry those signals and get it executed into your broker account. Uh, Currently, we have integrated with some of the popular tools such as TradingView, Amibroker, MT4, Charting, NinjaTrader, of course, Google Sheets and Excel. These are other platforms using which you can try and place orders. Now, Google Sheet or Excel, they are not completely automated. It still requires you to press a button to pass the orders onto your broker account. It's not that it can read data from live data from the exchanges, and then whenever your price is triggered or whenever targets are achieved, the orders can be triggered. It is not that yet. It is a platform using Excel or Google Sheet. You can place an order manually, so to say, at a press of a button. Now, if there are multiple orders to be placed, you can fill the Google Sheet or the Excel with all the details, and then at a touch of a button, all the orders could get placed. Yes. Currently, we are integrated with 27, 28 brokers, and most of the brokers provide or allow for trading in the Indian markets. Crypto is not yet supported by most of the Indian brokers. We will go through the list of brokers with whom we have done the API integration already, using which you will be able to place orders in the Indian context as such. Crypto not yet, sir. We provide common API connectivities to multiple brokers. We provide execution modules. We provide sample codes which you need to use in, say, charting or TradingView or Amibroker to process the orders. We have tried and kept this platform as simple as possible, as user friendly as possible. All you need to use all you need is a good strategy, you would have tried and tested, which generates buy sell signals, and if that is available with you in these charting tools, you'll be able to use our platform and place orders whenever these signals are generated. uh, there's no need of any coding uh, language requirement or computer programming knowledge, or you need not have to get into the codes of the strategies, modify any codes which are there in the strategy, insert some modules into those. Nothing of that sort is there. It's almost a plug and play. All you have to do is For TradingView, for example, we will see when we do the practical stuff. Just copy paste one or two things, and it is ready for placing orders for you. We tried and kept it as simple as that. So there's absolutely no requirement for any coding or programming knowledge uh, for you to use this platform. It's just a copy paste that you need to do. Some of the key features are you can customize what is that you want to trade. If you want to trade in equities, or you want to trade in futures, or you want to trade in options, all that is possible using our platform. If it is options, you can trade with static options or dynamic options. So dynamic options allows you to pick the strike price at the time of placing the order. Suppose you want to trade in an ITM or an OTM strike. When the signal gets generated, we will look at what is the spot price at that given point in time, and then place the orders onto that strike price which you want the trades to happen. So that is the dynamic option strike price selection which is available in our platform. You can go up to 20 strikes in the money and 20 strikes out of the money. Uh, for all segments, like it could be Nifty, it could be Bank Nifty, it could be stocks options, or it could be Sensex options, all that. So up to 20 strikes are possible. Then if you're an option buyer, you can it's possible to trade. If you are a writer of options, that's also possible using our platform. And in case you want to hedge some of your main legs with an option buying or an option selling, that can also be set. Yes, that's right. All you have to do is have a good strategy in TradingView, and you can place orders based on the signals which are generated from the TradingView strategies that you would be running into any of the brokers with whom we have done the API integration. I'll share the list of all the brokers with whom we have done the API integration. Close to about 27, 28 brokers are integrated. We keep adding to that list. Yeah, coming back here, suppose you're a trader with dealing in quantities which are much higher than the freeze limits. We take care of the order splitting facility. You need not have to worry about um, placing multiple orders if the quantities are huge. Yeah, currently, what you can trade is in terms of fixed quantity. However, we are developing um, developing a module which will pick up the quantity that you want to trade based on the capital that you allocate for a trading symbol. For example, you could have 20 symbols that you want to trade, and for each you would allocate different quantities. So whenever a signal is generated for a particular stock, we will look at what is the capital allocated and what is the current trading price. Based on that, we'll generate the quantity and place orders. However, that is still under development. We expect that to be available for the users very, very soon. Hope that is what you're looking at. Yes. Now, in terms of risk management, we used to have just two things. Either you could set a target and stop loss, either in terms of percentage or points. Based on that, whichever levels were getting hit, the position taken would get close. Uh, Pretty recently, we have launched for risk management trailing stop loss, uh, so that your stops keep moving up or down depending on long or short positions, and then help you to maximize in terms of your profitability. Similarly, the losses could also be reduced. The recent launch has been the M2M based risk management facility, wherein you can say what is the amount of profit that you want to set for a particular strategy for the day, or what is loss that you would look at for a particular strategy in a day. Based on that, if those levels are achieved, the portions which are open will get closed. So you need not have to worry about point calculation and what rupees and what quantity, all that. We will take care of that. All you have to do is say that, okay, if my MTM yeah, if my, sorry, if I, yeah, I'll do that. Suppose you say that, okay, you need a profit of 10,000 rupees for the day, and if that is achieved, you want the portion to be closed, that can be set. Or if you say that, okay, you don't want to incur more than 2000 rupees loss in the day for a particular strategy which is running. So if the loss touches 2000 rupees, it will close the position. Similarly, you can trail the profit or the losses also. So these keep going up. So suppose you start with a 2000 rupees profit with a stop loss of say 500 rupees. As and when your profit keep going up, as and when the trade keeps moving in your direction, the trailing stop loss will also keep moving up. Suppose you had set 500 rupees. If the price is moving in your direction, after a certain point that you select, the stop loss will get moved to 250 rupees, or it can come to the cost, or it can keep incrementing at whatever percentages or values that you set. So that this is a new launch that we have done. It was launched this week, and quite a lot of people have started using it, and they're pretty happy with the way it is functioning. It is helping them pretty effectively in terms of minimizing the losses and maximizing the profits. Now you can also set the time, start time and end time for the trades to happen. Now there are people who want to trade only the morning time between say 9:15 to 10:30, 10, 11 o'clock when the volatility is high and they want to take the trades then. Or there could be strategies which do not want to be taken during the morning volatility. You want them to start after 11 o'clock and say go on till 3 o'clock. You can set the start time and end time accordingly. Signals which are coming in that time slot can will be executed, and orders will be placed. Similarly, you can say that, okay, if you're an intraday trader, you can set what is the time you want the intraday orders to be closed, or on the expiry day when you want the rollovers to happen. So all these can be customized based on your requirement and strategies as such. Continuing with some more features, rollover options are available where if you're a weekly option trader or a weekly trader or a monthly trader, all you have to do is do this setup for a day as one-time activity and leave it to the system to run. So on the expiry day, it will, if there are any open positions, it will roll over those positions for you. Then for all users, we provide paper trading facility um, to test and check before going live if the orders are getting placed as per your requirement. Now, we suggest all users to make use of this facility. First, test it out and check if orders are flowing as per the expectations. Only then going for live trades. We suggest that do it for a couple of cycles so that you get a hang of how the entire thing is working, because there are quite a few dependencies, quite a few settings that need to be done correctly. In case if there's any mismatch, then the orders might not be flowing or getting placed as per the requirement. So do that fine tuning of whatever parameters need to be set in our system so that the orders go as per your expectation and the strategy that you will be running. Yeah, charting, I'm not getting into it today, but the process is very similar. I'll tell you how it has to be done. Yes, I don't have the setup in my system. Maybe we can help you out. It's a very, very simple process to use charting automation. The most important part is correct selecting the correct rule which matches with the strategy that you are running. You would be running in any of the charting platforms like charting or Amibroker or TradingView. If there's a mismatch, what we have normally found is that if there's a mismatch in the rule selection and the way the strategy works, then you could end up with the wrong orders or a mismatch in the orders that would be getting placed. So it's important to understand these rules and select the rule which suits your strategy. We will touch upon the rules part when we get into the actual looking and automation process using the trading view. I'll give you some examples and show you how to select what kind of rule based on the strategy as such. Now, in case if you are an options trader having option strategies, you can set up each of these legs and then place orders for all the legs at based on a single signal that would be generated. So all the legs, if you have multiple legs to be executed, all the legs will be executed based on one signal. You can also prioritize whether you want the option to be bought first or a future to be bought second, or you're a seller, then the option buying has to be done first and the selling has to happen next, and while exiting the vice versa, so that you get that margin benefit. So there is a flexibility to choose the flow of orders also. Like you can set that, okay, let the system buy the option first and then sell the future, or take an entry into the future, so that you get the margin benefit. So those flexibilities are built into the system when you're using multiple legs to be triggered in based on a single signal as such. You can get notifications of the signals that get generated, and also the when the orders get placed. It's a very simple process to set up the notification process. All you have to do is go to Algomojo bot in on your Telegram app, generate the chart ID for a particular strategy, and incorporate that into the strategy. I'll show you that also while using the platform. If you're a trader, for example, charting, you would be looking at hundreds of stocks, and not that you'll be getting orders on all the stocks every day. Some of the stocks you might get an orders on a particular day. You want the orders to be processed only for those stocks. Then you can create a watch list similar to what you do in, say, TradingView or Amibroker. And whenever, if those symbols are available in the watch list, the orders will get placed only for those symbols. So that facility for users who scan a lot of symbols, creation of watch list is possible. And if the list is pretty limited, say 5, 10, you can do it manually each entry. Otherwise, there's a facility for creating a CSV file and uploading it in one shot. And that uploading and changing of the symbols and quantity, it's a simple process. You can do any number of times in a day. Then reports can be downloaded on a daily basis for all the signals that you would have, your charting tool would have sent, and all the orders and positions that would have uh, got created in the day. You can download those reports for your further analysis and fine-tuning of your strategies. However, historical download of the reports are not yet enabled. We are working on that so that it will help you to download, say, past couple of weeks, a couple of months data of all the trades taken, all the signals taken, received. Those kind of information can be downloaded. It's still in the development for historical reports. That would be getting launched soon. Yeah. Any queries? Kindly type it out in the Q&A box. I'll keep answering them. So in terms of new features that we are working on currently is all orders currently are enabled for market orders only. However, we are working on to launch a limit order, stop loss market and stop loss limit orders. Then the other thing is on the capital based quantity selection. So as I was saying, if you have multiple stocks and for each stock you have allocated different capital, when the signal is received, we will calculate based on the LTP, what should be the quantity that should be placed for the day. And so that is also under development, will be launched shortly. Then we are working on for a facility wherein you can load into the watch list the stock options or indices options. We've seen traders who trade multiple stock options in a day. They will start with a particular strike price, then keep changing that over a period of during the course of the day. To help those kind of requirements, you can put all the strikes or symbols that you want to trade in the watch list itself. It could be indices, it could be stocks, options. Then whichever option that whichever strike you want, for which the orders have to be placed, will be picked up from the watch list and will be able to place orders for you. These are some of the new features that we are talking about, which we are working on. And another facility is that suppose you have a group to whom all the signals need to be shared. Uh, that is a possibility which will happen very shortly, so that based on one signal, multiple people or multiple users can use, like a friends or family can also take the trades as such. As I was mentioning, we are an execution platform. We are not into, say, creating strategies as such. You will not be able to create a strategy here. However, we have a team which can help you in terms of generating the uh, strategies based on a, say, for example, somebody wants to know based on the interest rate of an option, can the trigger happen? So all that needs to be coded in the charting platform. Um, so we can help you out in generating those kind of codes, and you can for you to use them. However, that's a special coding requirement. Based on your exact requirement, we will be able to customize and then provide it for you. It will come at a cost depending on the complexity, and then the requirements, the prices would vary as such. Yeah, that's right. It's possible. Somebody is asking if a signal is generated from a Nifty chart and for a long in Amibroker, and can we place orders on OTM strike and short a put option? Yeah, it's possible. So, like, you need to create both the legs, one for, say, buying the OTM one strike price, and the other one is for shorting a put option. Combine these two as a group, and based on one signal sent from Amibroker, both the legs can get uh, triggered. So option buying you can trigger it first, and then the option selling, so that you get that advantage of margins also. Yes. See, charting, what they do is, see, yes, I do get your point. Why should a watch list be created in our platform? Charting is already providing. The charting uses the symbol format, which is similar or what is provided by NSE or BSE as such. Unfortunately, while dealing with the brokers, they have different formats for the same kind of symbol. Somebody will accept, say, for example, Yes Bank as the equity. Somebody will want it as Yes Bank hyphen EQ as the symbol. Somebody will say that Yes Bank underscore EQ as the format for them to process. If it was a common format used by all the brokers, it would have made life simple for everybody. Unfortunately, it is not. So that is why we have to create the watch list based on the broker requirement. So the watch list is wherein you will fill in the trading symbol and the quantity is dependent on which broker you are using. So, for example, Zerodha might have a different format, Angel will have a different format. So, based on the broker's format requirement, the watch list needs to be customized and used. So, not all the brokers will accept the same as what is being provided by the exchange as such. Yeah, the sharing of the signals or the copy trade kind of facility is another work in progress feature, which will be which we are planning to launch it pretty soon. Then for option strategies, currently each leg needs to be defined and then combined together. We are working on a model where you just say select iron corner, and whatever legs are available under iron corner will be displayed, and then the signals can happen. Based on the signals, the orders can get triggered. So the one-click option strategy model is being built. Um, Shortly, it will be available. In our system, you will not be able to do any programming as such. Like there are platforms like Streak kind of thing where you can define what are the conditions when met the orders to be placed. So that kind of facility is currently not available with us. Uh, we would depend on the signals to be generated from your end with using whatever tool or whatever charting platform that you are running your strategy on. Creating those strategies in our platform is not yet. We are not worked on that on those lines as such. All these new features we expect it to happen in a month or two. Some of them could be launched pretty soon, like the price types could happen pretty fast. Then the capital based thing would be the next one, and after that the other features should be launched. The segments that you can trade are equities. Equities could be intraday or delivery. You can use our platform. A lot of people are using for delivery based executions also. Then futures and options. Yeah, these are the segments in futures and options. You can use a platform for trading or investment purposes, trading purposes, and when it comes to options and futures. So earlier it was when we started with index only. Now we have added stocks also. You can trade in stocks, options also, and Sensex. You can select either static options or even dynamic option. If you select static option, throughout the day, whatever signals are being that will be received by Algomojo, the orders will be placed only for that static option that you would have chosen. If you use the static option, then dynamically, sorry, if you use the dynamic option facility, then depending on the spot price when the signal is received, the orders will be placed as based on the spot price. If you are trading in say ITM 5 or OTM 4, OTM 5, so when the signal is received based on your selection, we will pick up that strike price and then place orders for you. We have integrated close about 27, 28 brokers. So if you have a trading account with any of these brokers, you could use our platform. Now, if you're doing it for the first time, we allow a trial period for you to experience and check all the facilities and features that are defined or available for traders and investors. In case if you find the system is meeting your requirement, then you can get into the subscription-based model also. Now, uh, if you open an account with any of these brokers, listed brokers, 7 of them, you get APIs free of cost for life as such. We used to have a similar arrangement for with almost all the brokers. Unfortunately, due to regulation, most of the brokers have withdrawn the facility except for these 7 brokers. So if you open an account as Algomojo is the referral, um, and any of these Fires, Goodwill, Allies, Zibo, Upstock, you will get the Algomojo APIs completely free of cost. Otherwise, for all users, 7 days trial is provided in case you already have an account. Please use the trial period, check out all the functionalities, and in case if you're satisfied and if the platform is meeting your requirement, then look at getting into a subscription method. Now, when it comes to automation, it is normally done in 2 steps. One is the setup that you need to do in the Algomojo platform itself, and wherein you will define what is that you want to trade, whether you want to trade in futures, intraday, options, whatever quantities, etc. That you define it as a one-time activity in Algomojo, then enable the live trade or paper trade, and then do the setup in the charting tool, which could be TradingView or Amibroker, any of those. Now, we will get into the actual platform and see, go through some of the features. This is our website, algomojo.com. You request you to kindly go through the entire platform. If you already have an account, you can log in from here. On the right side top, you get this login facility. In case if you want to open an account using our referral to avail the API facility, use this link called open an account, wherein certain details like name, telephone number, email ID will be asked, and you can select the broker from the drop down. And after that, it will take you to the broker's website to complete the account opening process. Kindly use this facility and avail the APIs from Algomojo. Now, if you have already an account, all you have to do is get into algomojo.com and log in. Select your broker from the drop-down list. Like, for example, let me use TradeGenie. All the brokers with whom the API integration is done will be listed here. You can select it from this list itself. To log in, the credentials that you need to use are the same as what your broker has provided. You need not have to have a different login process for our credentials for logging for using a platform. It's the same credentials which your broker has given. Kindly use them. The client ID and the password and the TOTP. I use the TOTP process. It is pretty simple and easy. So once you log in, the user interface for all the brokers is the same in the Algomojo site. You'll get a default page which will give you a summary of all the funds and holdings and portions, etc. Also, you can create multiple watch lists, up to 5 watch lists you can create. And in case if you want to place orders manually, you can do that from here itself. Like, for example, if you want to buy something like an Indus Tower, all you have to do is go here and then buy whatever is the quantity. The process is this is for placing manual orders as such. So the platform becomes a one login which will meet all your requirements except for the back office kind of requirement where you have to say add funds or withdraw funds, then you have to look into your broker terminal. Otherwise, all functionalities are available in Algomojo platform itself. So you just need to log into this page and manage all your trades and investments from here. Now, once you log in here on the left side, you'll see a lot of tabs. The first tab is to do with the API. This is where you will need to get your trial period and or the subscription, or if you have a free, if you have opened an account using Algomojo as the reference, your APIs will be enabled here and you can start using it. In case if you are doing it for the first time, all you have to do is this page will ask you to generate the trial period. Use that facility and generate the trial period. Otherwise, you can go to here, this page called and generate your 7-day trial period. And all functionalities are available for the trial users. It's not that it is limited to few functionalities. You can experience all the facilities, all the features that we have provided for the users. Yeah, once you get the API, the next step is to use this API to define what is that you want to trade. That definition of what we want to trade will happen from this tab called My Strategies, wherein we create something called a new strategy and update this template to say what is that we want to trade. Suppose I'm a trader who wants to trade in say futures of Nifty. It will start by asking you the name. I'll say Nifty. Then the next part is selection of the rule. There are 4 types, or 5 rules as such. I'll explain this when in relation to a chart. The rules that are available are long only, short only, long plus short, and another variation called long plus short with buy, sell, and short cover, and stop and reversal. This rule would fit in any kind of strategies that are available in the uh, trading view or Amibroker kind of platforms. So we have done an extensive research and study and narrowed it down to these 5 kind of levels, which would meet most of the traders and investors requirement. So that is how you have these 5 of them. So let me start with a rule called stop and reverse. And then we'll need to define what is the segment that you want to trade in, whether it is equities or futures and options or options. We'll start with futures. Then for Nifty futures or any future, you have to type in for the first few letters and select the symbol that you want to trade from the drop down. For example, if you want to trade in Nifty futures, select it from here. Order type can be NRML or MIS, MIS for intraday. Then price type is default by it is market only. So once we launch the stop loss and the limit orders, it will be available as a drop down here. as such. Currently, leave it at market, the default value. Then select the quantity that you want to trade. Say, for example, if you want to trade in 50 lots, once you type in based on the symbol that you select, the quantity will also be displayed. And if it is more than the split quantity, freeze limits, then it will automatically split the orders and place it here. So then you this will be picked up automatically. You need not have to enter it manually unless you want to have different slabs of orders going in. Suppose you want, instead of 800, you want to make it 500. That's also possible. So I leave it at 800 or 1800. Then if you want to roll over or not, do the selection from here. And if you say whichever expiry, if you say next month expiry, or if we are looking at option, it will give you weekly also. The dates will be displayed here so that you get a clarity as to what is that you're trying to roll over to as such. Let me leave it for the demo and don't roll over. Then chart symbol, leave it blank. It's not a compulsory field. Then when it comes to target, stop loss, and MTM based kind of stop loss, you will need to do the selections here. You can say whether you want the targets to be in terms of percentage or points or MTM. So this is the newest addition that we have done, the MTM based exits also. So you will need to say if it is MTM, then you will need to give the value. What is the value that you want to say as a target? Then do you want a stop loss? Again, if it's MTM based, you can say that, okay, stop loss value is say minus 2000 or 1000, whatever. Then if you want to trail it again based on what is the trail that you want to do, suppose for every 100-point increase, then you want to trail by say 20 points as stop loss should trail, then you say that, okay, price, if it moves up by say 50 points, let this be trailed by 10 points. So as and when the trade keeps moving in your favor, for every 50 points increase, your stops would keep moving up. So this trailing, if you have selected MTM, then that also will trail in terms of the rupees as such. Now, since the markets are closed, let me uh, start with none as a selection for all this. Now, in case you need to get a more detail about how to do the MTM based selection, we have a blog which gives you a complete detail about how to use the MTM. A step-by-step detail is provided, understanding days, MTM target, stop loss, and trailing in Algomojo. Kindly go through this blog. It gives you step-by-step as to how it has to be done, how it has to be set. So it's pretty simple and easy to understand, no complexity at all there. So request you to have a look at step-by-step process of setting it up for various scenarios. There are multiple scenarios wherein you can use the M2M as such. So based on what is that you're looking at, set up the do the setup in Algomojo here. Yeah. You can set up the stop loss in terms of MTM or points or percentage, and then based on what your selection, the triggers will happen. So once you set the basic things that you want to trade, we have to save this page. Before saying, there are certain default values, like start time is default set at 9:15. Suppose you want to start the trades after say 11 o'clock, you can change this. Similarly, expiry time can be set from here. Similarly, daily square off can be set from here. And end time is, suppose you don't want any signals to be processed received after say 3 o'clock. You can say that, okay, my end time for new signals is 3 o'clock. So after 3, any signal coming in, please stop, don't process it, is what you're saying, telling the platform as such. So based on if you want to do any of these changes, update these fields, otherwise you can leave it at blank. So the minimum thing that is required is what is the segment that you want to trade, what is the symbol, what is the quantity, whether it is intraday, whether it is positional. Make these selections and save this page by submitting it. In case if there are any fields which are not updated, it will prompt you to update those fields. Once the necessary fields are updated, come down here and submit it. Once. Just one moment. Yeah. All functionalities are available in the trial period. The end-to-end, all features, whatever we are looking at, uh, it's available. Yes. Suppose you start with not setting the MTM at all, or target and stop loss is not set. Your trade is already happened. The portion is running. You come back and you want to put a trail or a stop loss or a target kind of levels. You can update that, and then the level save the thing. It will ask you to update, and then save the thing, and then it will keep running. Yes. See, in case if you have say five equities that you are trading and you want to close only one, either you set up this, do the setup for each of those, and then set the MTM levels for each of them separately, or you will need to close it manually. See, why we ask the strategy name to be available is here. The name is required because suppose you're trading in, this is what we have done for Nifty. You are a trader who trade in Nifty, Bank Nifty, or equities, or it could be stocks of each of those strategies. You have to create this page separately. It is not that it is common for everything. It is say this strategy will work with Nifty futures. So whenever you're getting a signal for Nifty futures, it will trigger order only for Nifty futures. We'll need to create one more if we want to trade in Nifty option, Bank Nifty options, or Nifty options, or stocks and stock options or stock futures. For each of them, we have to set it up separately. Now, depending on the strategy that you're running. Now, there are traders or investors who use, for example, one strategy. Like your charting has got one strategy, or your trading you're running, say, a strategy like super trend, which across multiple symbols. So in those kind of cases, or in Amibroker, you're doing an exploration of say 50 symbols. So in those kind of cases, the watch list needs to be added for that particular strategy that you create. For example, here I'm creating a strategy for futures. If I add all the futures into this strategy's watch list, based on the signal that would come from charting or Amibroker or TradingView, the orders will be placed for those stocks or futures which we have put in or defined in the watch list as such. So the name is a compulsory field, and try and keep it as similar to what you're trying to trade. Say if it is Nifty futures, when you are running multiple strategies, from the name itself, you'll be able to recognize what is the strategy about. So it makes it a bit easy to identify what is that you're defined in the under the created strategy. Okay, so once these parameters are updated, remember this is a one-time activity. You may not have to keep doing it every time. Do it one time and just leave it. It will be available for you always. So whenever you want to trade, it is there for you. You want to trade Nifty, create one for Nifty, create another for Bank Nifty, create one more for stocks kind of thing. And these strategies will always be available. So once you define these, a couple of things get generated. One is called a webhook URL, and for TradingView, we'll need to update the alerts with certain codes. So we generate that, and all you have to do is copy these two information and use it in say TradingView or even in charting also. You will be able to use it. Just do the copy paste. That is always a process. We will look at how to do that as a next step. Yes. Yeah. So once you have defined this, go back and your strategy will be listed here. For example, I have multiple strategies here. So I know that this is for natural gas, this is for crude oil, this is for Bank Nifty. So from the name itself, I'll be able to identify what is this strategy is pertaining to. By default, it will always be in inactive state. You will need to activate live or paper trade. Always start with a paper trade. Say, for example, uh, uh, this is what we just created to trade in Nifty futures. Once you do this creation, do a manual check by using the paper trade and see what if the orders are getting placed properly or not. To do that, you can send the signals from here itself. You say buy, the order will be placed. The orders that will be placed in paper trade or live trade will be shown here. If it is live trade, it will go to your broker account also and it will be displayed here also under this tab called My Signals. So any orders coming in will be shown under this tab called My Signals. The previous one was My Strategies, where we define what is that we want to trade. Under this My Signals tab, you will be able to see the trades that have triggered for the day or triggered for the day. So under the orders tab, you will see the orders function. Since we had selected the orders which were 3,715 in quantity, it has placed three orders. It is split automatically and place multiple orders for you. Similarly, when you want to close, all of them will get closed in one click as such. So positions can be seen here. During the live trade, you'll be able to see the watch list and P&L, all that can be observed from here itself. So if you have multiple strategies, all of them will be listed, and strategy wise, you'll get a report as to what has been the MTM and what has been the total, all that. Maybe there is some trial happening or demo happening at the exchanges. So these keeps it is getting updated. Okay, so this is how we test manually. You can see that this is a paper trade. Live trade will not have this P indication. Suppose you feel that okay, you want to close this position. All you have to do is you can do that manually. Also say square off or go to your strategies, and then from here also you can say sell. So all that can be done as a manual process. Now, here, once you create a strategy, go to this actions, and that you will have a facility to add watch list. So when you click on this, you'll get a facility wherein you can type in the list manually. If it is, say, if you have a couple of them, so 4, 5 of them, or 10 of them, you don't want to add it as a watch list, you can do that manually also. For example, I'll say chart similar as one, and here I'll say Reliance. I want to trade in March futures. I want to trade in 5 lots. You can add that. So next could be ABB, for example. Let me keep this as 2. ABB. I want to trade in 1 lot. So you can add manually also, or you can download the format for adding it as a CSV file from here. Just trying to open the CSV file. Yeah, it has to be in this format, chart symbol, exchange, trading symbol, and quantity. So if you have multiple of them, 100, 200, 500, 1000, whatever is the list, please add it in the same format, save it as a CSV, and then come back here and say upload. You will need to select the file that you would have created and upload it from here. Suppose this is a file, whatever you have created will be listed here. Suppose you have got 500 stocks, all of them will be listed here. After you do this, and you can leave it as do it as a one-time activity and leave it. Otherwise, you can keep doing it any point in time. Suppose during the course of the day, you feel that, okay, you want to trade in some more stocks, go here and then upload the watch list again. So if there were say 50 stocks, it will become 55. Suppose you added 5 more. So, or if you want to delete some of them, you can do that. You can do it any number of times, even during the working hours, when the exchange is running or the markets are open. So, at the point in time when the signal is coming, whatever, if that symbol is available in this watch list that you would have created, it will place the orders for you. So good question. If you have multiple strategies, say 5 strategies, and for each of them, you can set the MTM. Suppose you have set one strategy to trade in Nifty, another one for Bank Nifty, third one for in say stock of Reliance, fourth one for options in Bank Nifty, fifth one for Sensex options. So for each of them, you can set separate M2Ms in terms of rupees or in terms of percentage or in terms of points. So if that particular strategy is hitting those levels, only that strategy will get closed. Suppose if the target of 5,000 rupees profit has been hit for Nifty futures, it will close only that. The other ones will keep running still till either the exit happens through a signal or through a target or a stop loss as such. Hope that answers your query. Sure, you can do a half exit. Only thing is, whenever you are doing any changes, do it um, using our system as such. Suppose, for example, here, say we have taken a quantity of 3750 and you feel that, okay, you want to exit, say 5 lots or 2 lots out of it. And the balance quantity you want to come and you want the system to keep running it. So if you have closed that position manually, say from your mobile app or from a web terminal of your broker, whatever quantity is still running, come and update it here. Now, the way to do it is suppose you're closed, say 2 lots, say 150 quantity is gone. Here, come here and say adjust this to instead of 3750, make this 3600 and submit it so that we know that okay, the quantity that is running currently is 3600 and not 3750. So when the next order comes in, we will close whatever is available here. Suppose you have closed in using your mobile app and you're not done the updation here, then there'll be a conflict. We will be trying to close 3750 quantity, whereas you will have only say 3600, whatever quantity is running in your broker account as such. Now, if you have multiple stocks and the orders are not going through because there's no capital, no, not an issue. The orders will be rejected. Whatever orders are placed only and that are currently running, it will keep using it. It will keep track of those. Suppose you had placed 10 orders and say 8 of them went through and they're running, and for 2 of them there is no capital. It will get rejected, and the 8 of them will keep running. Not see M2M is based on the profit or loss that you're making. It is not time dependent. Uh, we go by the API data that we fetch from your brokers. Now, is it running at the same speed as what a broker is running or what is the price running at the exchange? Not. There will always be a difference because when we look at, say, you got an M2M of, say, 5,000 rupees, and when we place an order, when we send that order to the exchange, based on what is the LTP at that point in time, the trade will get closed. So you might end up getting, say, 6,000 rupees profit, or it could be 4,000 rupees also. The base, it is going as a market order, and it is the execution happens in milliseconds, but obviously there'll be a bit of delay. Uh, it can't be an exact amount of say 5,000 of what you have defined. We will trigger it at 5,000 as soon as the price is reached or the profit is reached or loss is reached, and at the execution and final amount that has been captured would depend on what price it went through as such. Yeah, see, one way of doing a manual closure also is do it manually. Say, like, for example, typically what happens is we keep looking at the mobile and we try and close some orders there. Then you come and update it here. Or suppose you have this you have created a watch list. For example, we created a watch list here. Yeah. Now, suppose let me add Nifty futures into this. This is what we had set initially to trade. Now here, let me try and change this to, instead of 50, I'll make this 10, and I'll say sell. Initially, we had bought 3,750. Now, in this case, what happens is the entire quantity gets closed. Yeah, it is not. It will not go by that. Yes. It'll since we have used a rule of stop and reverse, what it does is it'll close the existing portion and take the new portion as such. If it was only a rule of buy and sell, then yes, part execution can be done from the watch list also. So any changes or any trades taken from the system, we keep track of it from here. Suppose uh, from our system. So the signals passing through our system, we will keep track of it. Now, what you have done manually, we will not be aware. So that is the reason you'll need to come back and update it from here. Because there's no way we can update as to what is closed manually. You have to tell the system what is that you have closed. Only then we'll be able to make out. Or do the adjustment like what we saw here. You do close it manually and come back and adjust it from here. Now, suppose once the orders are going through, say you place an order manually and check, okay, this is what is going through, this is what was your expectation, and the orders are going through. Then you can get into the actual setup in your charting tool. Let's look at trading view. Now, our system requires uses webhook URL for reading the signals and processing them. So webhook URL facility is made available only in the paid version of TradingView. So you will need to have a subscription of TradingView, and you will also need to have uh, a good strategy that you want to automate. Either a strategy or a study. It could be an indicator. It could be a trend line. Whatever studies it's possible. Yes. You will need to have that defined on the chart that you want to trade. One moment. There's a query. Is it possible? Yeah, see, in case you want to use exploration module to trade portfolio stocks, you want to place orders in equity options also instead of stocks. So you can create one strategy for trading in stocks, another strategy for trading in options, stock options. So you add the stock options data into the watch list in both the places. In Amibroker also, you'll need to have a list where you are doing the exploration, and also in our strategy that you create here. So that is how we would differentiate. Or what you can do is, if you have one common list of stocks and options that you're running from your Amibroker explanation, or have all those stocks defined and options defined under the watch list. Suppose you have created a watch list here. It has a combination of, say, stocks and even options. And in Amibroker, you're running an exploration module, which also has a same list of stocks and options. that's fine. So if there are say 10 trades of generated for stocks and so a couple of trades, say 5 trades for stock options, then it'll get traded and the orders will be placed based on the signal that we receive from Amibroker for either stock or stock option. Hope that is what you were looking at. There was a query whether you can trade in first start with the exploration on equities and then shift to options, or you want to trade in both. This is the method of doing it. Or if you want to, if you have a separate strategy for stock options and separate strategy for say stocks running in Amibroker under exploration, then create a separate strategy like here in Algomojo also. So one for stocks, another one for uh, options or futures that you want to pass the signals to. Yeah, it is stock specific. Now, normally when you are using a watch list, set the stop loss or targets in terms of percentage, because uh, say ITC is running at 400, 500 rupees, you kept a target of say 4 rupees, and Reliance is running at I don't know the current price, say 1000 plus 1200 kind of thing. And if you keep 4 rupees as the target for Reliance, it will not work out. That will not be the requirement. So you keep it as a percentage of the price. So ITC, if 4 percentage profit is achieved, then or 2% stop is there. If 2% gets hit, it will close only the ITC. For Reliance, if you set stop loss as say 5% and target as 10%, so it will look at percentage and then close it. Sorry, percentage wise, it has to be the same because you'll not be able to set it individually. It has to be percentage only. I'm extremely sorry. Here, when you're creating a strategy, what happens is, let me close all the trades which are there. Here, when you're creating a strategy, you are defining the targets either in terms of percentage or points or MTM. So keep it as say 1% of say 5% target and 1% stop loss. It will be applicable based on the price movement of the stock. You can't define say for Reliance I want 2% profit and 0.5% stop loss, and for ITC I want 5% profit and say 3% stop loss. Stock wise target and stop loss setting is not possible. Sorry about that. Yes. Exactly. Suppose you have 250 stocks in charting and you added the same list in Algomojo. So today for on Monday morning at say 9:30, you get a signal for 5 of them. Only 5 will be executed. On Tuesday, you get another 10 of them. Apart from these 5, so on those signals which are coming from charting, only those signals will be processed. Yeah. See. Using indicator how to set triggers, we will have a look at it today. Now if you are using more than one study like RSI and then SMA or ADX or multiple studies, then you have to get the coding done separately. However, if it is just one indicator or one price say SMA crossover kind of thing, then you can do it without any special coding done as such. We will see that. I'll show you how to do it for say RSI. So coming back here, we will enable the paper trade and look at how do we process or do the alert setting for in a trade using TradingView. So first thing is you need to have a subscription for TradingView. Most important part is you should have a strategy which will give you buy sell signals. And once you have that, all you have to do is select your symbol. For example, let's look at crypto today. We should be able to get live price for crypto. Yes. uh, Load the symbol first. Next important thing is to load the time frame in which you want to run the strategy or create the alert. Say whether it is 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever the time frame your strategy requires, load the time frame and load your strategy. I have some strategy loaded. Let me show that. So it can be any strategy which gives you buy sell signals. That is all is required and allows you to create an alert. That is all is required, nothing else. Uh, so this is super trend. It is always in trade. Most of you would have seen super trend or used super trend at some point in time or the other. As you are aware, it is either in long or short always. So for such kind of strategies, the rule to be used is called the fifth rule, the stop and reverse kind of thing. That is a rule that will be applicable. So you have a lot of strategies which are similar to this that way. It could be alpha trend, it could be UT bot, any of those, which are always in trade, either long or short. So when a long is triggered, you want a long entry, either in futures or in options, you want a CE to be taken. And when a short is triggered, you want that to be reversed. Say long has to become short and the CA has to be closed and a PE has to be taken. So for such kind of requirement, the rule applicable will be stop and reverse, which is the fifth rule in our strategy that we just create. Sorry, the view mode doesn't allow you to edit. So let me close this and go here. So the rule applicable for such strategies is the last one, stop and reverse. What it does is whenever there's a long or say short is running, when a buy comes, it'll close the short portion and take the reverse portion. So that's why we are saying that it's a stop and reverse kind of rule to be used. Now, if you're a trader who has got a strategy or you are using super trend only and you want to trade trades which are only long, then you use a rule called long only. Yeah, long only instead of stop and reverse. What it does is it will take only the long signals. So when a long is coming in, it will trigger a long in future or it will trigger a CE. And when the reverse happens, it will close that position. The future will be closed or CE will be closed. It will not take the sell position or the short position. So that is how the rule works. So you'll need to be careful as to what is that, how is that you want to trade, whether you want to trade all the signals or you want to trade only long signals or only short signals or you want to trade both of them, then select the rule accordingly. If there's a mismatch in the rule, then your order placements will go for a toss. Now, there will be scenarios where there are strategies which will say take a long entry and say take an exit at this level, and there'll be say no trades for some time. And then after some time, you'll get a sell signal which will get say closed here based on the conditions which are defined under that particular strategy. So this sell will be initiated here and it will take an exit here. And again, there will be no trade. The system will wait for a new trigger to happen. For such kind of studies or strategies, then you need to use a rule called buy or sell. So buy or long plus short. That is the rule to be used. So what it does is when a buy is triggered, it will take a long position. When a short is triggered, it will close the long position and not take the short position. So it will wait for the next either a long to happen or a buy short to come. If a short comes, it will take a short position, a PE or a future short position, depending on your requirement. So the understanding of the way your strategy is configured for signals and the rule has to be matched. In case if you have any doubt, we have given a complete documentation. Kindly go through that. In case you have still got any confusion, contact us. We will help you to choose the right rule that can be used, that needs to be used for the effective working of your strategy in our platform. Otherwise, it will go for a toss. Now, we have noticed that there are strategies which will take an entry and exit here. And by chance, if you have taken the fifth rule, the stop and reverse, what will happen is it will take a short position when the exit comes. But you didn't want the short to be taken. You wanted only the long to be running. So it is not meeting that requirement. So you'll need to change the rule, and then you use the rule of long only or short only, depending on your study as such. So be careful in this understanding and choosing the long or short. Yes. Hope that is okay. Yeah. Now, in terms of documentation, I'll just show you that also. So here, mm, how do we do the automation? It's a simple process. After you selected the instrument that you want to run and the time frame that you want to run, and the strategy is loaded onto your chart, you're able to see the buy sell signals. Go to the strategy and click on these three dots which you see here. Any strategy, any study will have this more button. Click on that and say add an alert. So it will open a pop-up box where certain things need to be updated. One is the if it is a strategy, you need to update just the message box and the webhook URL. Webhook URL, you will find it under the notification tab. And in the settings, you will need to update this one. So what is to be updated here? We give you that information. Go to the strategy that you created. Come down here and copy this message. If it is a strategy, then this message content needs to be used. Copy it from here and paste it in this box. Okay, and then copy the webhook URL from our site. This webhook URL which you have created for this trading in futures. Go back and paste it here. So two copy paste to be done. That is all. For identification, you need to give a name. We'll say that NF demo and say create. That's it. Any alert that you create will be highlighted here, and it will wait for the signal. Now, currently, sell signal is running. It will wait for the new signal to come. So as you can see here, the demo alert is created. So any time a new signal comes, it will take the trade for you. So the next signal will be a long signal. So it will take the long entry because we had not taken the sell entry first. It will take only the long entry. As you can see under this, what we define. For this strategy, the current positions are zero. There are no positions running, right? So suppose you're seeing this and you feel that the market is going down and you still want to take the short position, do that manually and then leave it to the system to take it forward after that. Now, how do we do it? You have to initiate that from our website only. You can't take it manually and then ask the system to take it forward after that. How do we do it manually? We go to the strategy that we just created, and since the cell is running, I'll just say that okay, create a short portion manually, and it will be shown here. So there's a portion running now, which is the short portion. So when the trading view generates a buy signal, it will close this short portion running and take a long portion. That is how it has to be done. Right. Hope that is clear. So that is in case if you want to join the trade, which is already just about initiated. Otherwise, if you want to wait for the fresh signal to be generated, just leave it to the system. So the process is very simple. All you have to do is update this message box and update this notification with the webhook URL. Only two things to be done. Nothing else to be done. You need not have to get into adding or modifying any of the codes of Supertrend or any other things. So you simple copy paste the message box content and update the webhook URL. Both information is provided by Algomojo. Just copy paste those things and then leave it there. The systems will keep running for you. Whenever the signal comes, it will be triggered and the orders will be placed accordingly. Any doubts, any queries so far on this? Yeah, now suppose we will see how to get how to trade in the option signals as such. Yes, there are two methods of doing it. Either you can do an option chart itself. So, since the markets are closed, we will use the uh, same Bitcoin chart and generate signals, get some live signals. Let's see how we do that. Okay. But how to trade in options when the signals are coming from, say, if it, this could be a, this is a, this can be any chart. It could be an options chart. It can be a futures chart. It can be a spot chart. Any of those. So as long as whenever these signals are generated here, the orders can be placed on the symbol that you would have selected. Yeah, any queries, any doubts so far on how to set up the automation if you are having a strategy in trading? Load your strategy. It can be from the indicator. You go here and say type any strategy that you have, say for example UT bot or anything, as long as that is giving you say the things like um, it has to be giving you this buy sell signal. That's it. You just say add alert and update the box. That's it. Nothing else to be done. And the webhook here. Add the webhook here. No other process to be done. Yeah. We'll do a setup on next setup on using options, how to do that. Okay. Now, somebody is asking how to trade using a RSI, for example. If you want to use a combination of RSI and a simple moving average, then a special coding has to be done. Because if you have to say that, okay, if the RSI is above crossing above 65, and then the my SMA should be more than say SMA, I'm using two SMAs, and then one is crossing over, the shorter one is crossing over, a longer one is crossing over the shorter one, or the other way around. You have to take a long or a short trade kind of stuff. All that conditions will need to be separately coded and then loaded into this, which will trigger the buy sell when conditions are met. Suppose you want to use only an indicator, let's say like RSI, and if the value goes above 65, you want to take an entry in options. How do we do that? We will try it out now. Now on the same chart, I will load the indicator first and say RSI. Okay. Now against this RSI also, you have this dot more button. You have to create an alert also here. And unlike a strategy, you will have some more conditions which needs to be matched. Now you need to say that, okay, if the RSI is crossing from below a value of 65, then a long entry has to be taken. That's what we need to tell. So I will say that, okay, crossing up and a value of say 65, I want, once the bar is closed above that level, I want the trigger to happen. And then I'll give it a name as BN options. Okay, for example. And what needs to be pasted here is the same content we will show you. If it is an indicator, you will need to give two, you'll need to create two alerts, one for entry and one for exit. Unlike a strategy, you will not, indicators will need two. If it is a strategy, just one alert creation is sufficient. Yeah. Now, once we do this, we will also need to tell the system whether that I want to trade in options. So we will go to Algomojo and create a new strategy. And call this BN options. And I'll select a similar rule, or I'll say that long plus short, or we'll keep it as stop and reverse. I'll tell you how it works. And segment, we'll say that dynamic symbols. And here I'll say that I want to trade in Bank Nifty, and it'll ask for which expiry. I'll say current month expiry. And here I can tell whether it is ATM, OTM, or ITM. So if I say ITM 5, whenever the signal comes, we will check what is the ITM strike price at that point in time, and then take the trade as per that. If it is CE, it will take ITM 5 CE. If it is PE, then it will take ITM 5 PE at that point in time when the signal was received. So, and here we say that, okay, I want to buy an option. If you're writing an option, you can do that also. Hedging and selling, suppose you want to hedge, then you will need to use the other ones. So if you say that, okay, I want to buy, and order type is normal and price is always market, and say I want to trade in 100 lots. So it will split and place multiple orders in steps of 900. So rest of the things I'm not setting. If you want to set the target, stop loss, all that can be done in terms of rupees, percentage, points, all that can be done. So this is how you select what you want to trade, whether it is ATM, OTM, or ITM when you're doing in options, right? And do a submit. After that, for indicators, we will need to use these actions. So for buy entry, we have to use this. For sell entry, we have to use this. So let me select the buy here, and let me go back here and say enable this also. After that is done, go to the chart and say that okay, paste that here, and from the strategy, copy this webhook URL, replace the webhook URL, and place the webhook URL which is relevant to this Bank Nifty options. So this is a strategy which is created for Bank Nifty. I'll go here, do a view, and copy the webhook URL, come to trading view, and paste it here. That's it. After you do that, you will see this level here. The RSI is almost there. If the RSI, you see this dotted line with a right pointing arrow. If the candle closes above that, then the alert will be triggered and a entry into CE will be taken, because we want long to be initiated if the candle is closing above the 65 RSI level as such. So whenever you have a signal, you'll be able to see the alerts. You'll be able to see the alerts here. So that is all. So unlike a strategy, in the for the indicators, you will need to update some more points, which are like the condition, then the trigger needs to be updated. If the value also needs to be updated. It's a slightly different process when you want to do automation for indicator. So it can be any indicator. It could be CCI, it could be ADX, MACD, anything, any indicator which is available, any oscillator, anything that is available in TradingView. You update the conditions, and when the conditions are met, the orders will be, signals will be generated, and the order will be generated as such. Any doubts, anything so far? M2M is not clear. Now, M2M is, now for example, a setting of M2M or M2M itself. Suppose, say, you have created a strategy and you want to close the position is triggered and the position is running, and if you get a target of say 5,000 rupees profit is what you're expecting, you can say that okay, my M2M target is 5,000 and I don't want to lose more than 1,000 rupees. You can set that as the stop loss in M2M. So whenever these levels are hit, it will get, your position will be closed. For example, here we have to see here. Let me take a new one. Yeah, we say that the days M2M here in terms of value, also we'll say 5,000 rupees. And stop loss, again, we'll keep it as M2M, and value stop loss limit is say 2,000 rupees. And if you want to trail, that is fine. Otherwise, leave it as none. So what it does is whenever after the position is taken, and if the profit reaches 5,000 level, it will close your position. Or if the stop loss, if the loss is coming to 2,000 rupees, it will close the position. This is where you need to create, provide the values for MTM as such. Hope that is clear. Yeah. This is where you mention the MTM amounts. Say under target, instead of percentage of points, you give the MTM values. And similarly, stop loss also, you instead of percentage points, you give the MTM as values. Right. Hope that is clear. Now, suppose the RSI is crossing down, you want to take a PE, you will need to create one more alert here. Now, we will create an alert. So this is for entry is what we said. Suppose you want, instead of, you want to take a PE portion when the RSI is coming down. So the way to do it is, if you already created one, you can do a clone. There's a facility called clone here. And here you can go and change this to, instead of buy, you can see that if the RSI is going to cross down from above a value of 65, instead of buy, you can say sell. Change it to sell and save it. Now, I created a clone of this. What I'll do is I want to take a log entry if the RSI crosses above 30 or 35. So here we'll go and say that the value is crossing up more than 35. And once for bar close, I want a buy entry to be done. I'll say that as, I'll give the name as option entry CE, right? As you can see, the level will be shown here. Now these levels are can be changed. You can bring it up or bring it down depending on where you want to take the entry. This is again a one-time setup, right? So you want, instead of 30, you want to make it as, say, 26 or 25, drag it down, or you can also go and edit it from here. You can say, make this as 45 and save it. So it will move up. So if the RSI from below starts crossing up and the candle closes above 45, CE will be triggered. And if the RSI goes above and it starts coming down, the CE will be closed and PE will be taken. So here we will say that this is for CE, then this is crossing down a value of 65. We will call this as PE. Any doubts so far? Yeah, once you have created the strategy in Algomojo, like here, what we did, this will always be available for you, and you need not have to create it every time. Only thing is, every day morning you will need to come back and enable the live trade or paper trade. It will be reset to inactive mode every day after the market hours. So every day morning, just before the market opens, around do it around 8:45, 9 o'clock, not earlier to that, because brokers will be doing maintenance activities after the midnight. Commodities markets are closed or early in the mornings, and their activity, updation activity, will not know when it will be open closed. But definitely towards market open, they would be ready, and they would have given a new token to us. That token is important for each customer, so you have to log in only during, as close to the market opening time as possible. Don't log in around, say, 5 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock in the morning. Always do around 8:45 to be safe, 8:45, 9 o'clock. And come here and enable the live trade or paper trade for whichever strategy that you want to run on that day. If you want to run multiple of them, enable all of them for live trade or paper trade. So whenever the signal comes, it will get triggered. And similarly, TradingView is one-time setup. It will keep running for you. This will keep running for you. The alerts that you create, for example, here, they normally expect it, they give a time frame, 1 month time frame. So it will be valid till April 1st. If you want it to be higher than that, you can change the date. You can say that, okay, depending on the subscription, you can change. You can say up to 30th or something, and then keep pushing it forward every month as such. Otherwise, default, they'll give it at 1 month, and on that day, you need to again reset it or recreate or extend it. So all these are one-time setups. It says nice feature at TradingView. You need not be sitting in front of the computer with TradingView or even Algomojo for that matter. After you've done this in the morning, you're logged in around, say, 8:45, 9, and you enable the live trade or paper trade. You can close the system and leave it. So whenever the signal comes, it will get processed at the back end and orders will be pushed. Only thing is, don't log out from here. Don't say log out. If you say log out, then the signals will not be processed. they'll be held up because it will think that, okay, you don't want to take any new orders. However, you can just close this, just close the browser, or even shut down your system also, not an issue. Yeah, good question. Suppose I want to adjust options in if stock or index reach a certain level, I want to close few legs in the strategy and then how to deal with it. Okay. If you're running multiple stocks, options or index options, add all of them into the watch list. Say if, like what we created. Yeah, suppose you have 10 strikes defined and you're to begin with, you would say start with the ATM, ITM and ITM2 or ITM3 up to 5, but create it for up to ITM10 or OTM10, whichever. And say the trade is taken at ATM, ITM1 and ITM2, and after 2 hours you want to close that, you come back and say close, buy or sell. Those positions will get closed, and you want to take an entry in the new ones, which is item 4, 5 and 6, you say buy to those, so it will trigger orders and it will keep running. The rest of the setup remains the same. Total MTM square off as of now is not available. That is another facility we are working on, where it can check all the M2Ms of all the strategies combined together, and then it'll trigger. So that is another project that we are working on. Maybe at a later date it will be available. Yeah, so whether it is crossing up or crossing down, uh, depending on your study, when you want to take an entry. See, if your internet is down, your power has gone down, or your laptop has crashed, not a problem. As long as you have updated your strategy in the morning, okay, and enable the trades, that is fine. It will keep running at the background for you. Anyway, TradingView is in the cloud, and they send the signals to Algomojo, and we know that you are logged in the morning and enable the strategies. So we will not look at whether your computer is on or not. As long as you have enabled it here, we will keep track of the signals and process it for you. Yeah, the recording will be available, say, after 2-3 hours after we close the session. We don't have a mobile app. It's only a web-based platform. However, using a mobile app, also you can use the same browser for login or monitoring purposes. Mobile app is not available currently. Yes, these strategies need to be enabled every day. Yeah, so coming back here. So this level has got triggered. Let's see. As you can see, the Bank Nifty signal has been triggered, right? So you can check the order here, go to Algomojo and come to this place called My Signals. And under that, you will see both the strategies, Nifty futures and Bank Nifty options is what we created. It will show you what is the action that has come. So we wanted to buy it to trigger a buy signal when the RSI closed above this level of say 45 or something. And when it crosses below, we want the C, which is taken, to be closed and PE to be taken. That's what we have defined. So now, as you can see here, you select this option, Bank Nifty option. It has triggered because a quantity was large. It has triggered so many orders, and it has taken an entry into 53,400. I think it was ITM 4 or 5 that we selected. And when a short gets triggered, say for example, if the RSI starts coming down this level of 65 and the candle also closes below that, then the CE will be closed and PE will be taken. That's it. It is as simple as that in terms of automating any indicator. No, that's what you go here and say close all the browsers. Fine, not an issue. It will keep running for you. Only thing is, don't shut down after you log out. Don't log out from here. For example, here if you say log out, then we will not process any signals that will come for your strategies. Now, another interesting thing which a lot of people use is price-based action. Like I'm sure a lot of people would be using, say, trend line based action. You draw a trend line and say that, okay, if the price breaks down this level, I want a PE to be taken, or if the price moves up this trend line, breaks above this, breaks out this trend line or study which I have. Suppose the price comes and breaks out and closes above this trend line, I want a CE or a PE or a future to be triggered. That's also possible. How do we do that? It's very similar to the way we do for indicator, like what we did here. All you have to do is draw a trend line and say that, okay, if you want when the price breaks out about this level and crosses this, all you have to do is draw the trend line and right click on that and say add alert on trend line and update these conditions. You say that, okay, if the price crosses above, crossing up, okay, the trend line, or you can say crossing, like you're asking whether it is crossing up or down, irrespective of that, you want to take an order. So either crossing up or crossing down or crossing, you define that, and or moving up or moving down. These are all facilities given under trading view. They have all these features. So depending, study how each of them work. Based on that, you can trigger orders. Suppose you want a order to be taken when the price crosses up and closes above this trend line, you say crossing up and trigger once for bar close and say give a name TL entry, and if you want a long to be updated, enter the message here, like go to Algomojo and take this message, the same message what we gave for indicators, the code that we use for indicators. Take this, say buy, and paste it here. Sorry, I didn't copy I copied the webhook URL instead. Sorry. Yeah, go back here and update that here. That's it. And update the webhook URL. Suppose you want a future entry to be taken, then use the webhook URL of future strategy, or if it is options, then take the options webhook URL. The strategy to which it is linked is identified from the webhook URL. So you use the relevant webhook URL and then they create. That's it. So whenever there's a breakout, it will trigger an order for you. Or for example, another method a lot of people use is they want to take a long entry when the price comes to a support level and then exit that long entry when the price hits a say resistance level. So you identify a resistance level and just go there and do a right click and say that add alert at so and so level. If the price comes to say 86,600, for example, in this case, and crossing up from below or crossing also, only once I want the cell to be taken, then all you have to do is go here, copy this cell and paste it here and update the webhook URL from the same place, copy this webhook URL for that strategy that you are wanting to trigger or running the trade and say create. Sorry, I didn't copy the webhook URL properly. Yeah. So as you can see here, it will be shown here. So any entry taken, if the price reaches this level, it will close that position. or it'll take a reverse position, close the long and take the short position, because we are using a stop and reverse kind of rule. If it is long only rule, then it will close the long position taken. Similarly here, if it is a breakdown, draw a study. It can be any type of study. Right click on that and say add alert. If the price is crossing down this trend line, and add the content here and update the webhook URL. That's it. Or it can be price also. If you want a long tweet taken here, say draw a trend line or whichever level you have, and say that okay, value crossing uh, up from below. I want the entry to be taken when the price comes down this level and starts going up. Only then the value has to, long entry has to be taken. So you create alerts for both these places. So one for entry, one for exit. So it is always there. Now, if you feel that, okay, price may not come down to this level, I want to take an entry at a slightly higher level, you can keep pushing it up or pushing it down. So these are all one-time setups that you need to do. You need not have to create every time. Just create it and leave it there, the study. And if your strategy that you have created is you have enabled it in the morning, and whenever those levels are reached, the entries or exits will happen based on the study. So this is price based. Like here you want to close the long and take a short position, or you from here you want to short position to be closed after taking a short from here. Do the markings here and just say buy or sell here in the content box. When you're adding an alert here, update with the relevant code. If you want a buy to be taken, then go to Algomojo under the strategy, under the indicators, copy the code and paste it here and update that webhook here. That's it. If it is buy, keep it a sell, or you want to change it to buy, you can do that from here also. The rest of the things remain the same. Any queries? Any clarification so far? Anything else to be understood? Yeah. So you can use indicators. For indicators, you will have to create two alerts, one for entry and one for exit. And for strategies, you just need to create one alert, and you can create an alert for any kind of study. It could be Fibonacci, it could be trend line, it could be resistance, support levels. Draw the line and create the alert. And whenever those conditions are met, the signals will be generated, and we pick up those signals and get it executed for you. It's as simple as that. It can be any kind of study. Um, there's no complication at all. It is a simple process to automate the strategies or the studies that you are running in trading. See, a square off would depend on uh, or the closing of the position would depend on the signal that you have selected. Whenever if you are using a rule called long only and short only, based on that, the position changes or closure will happen. If you want to do a square off for something that you already undertaken, for example, you've taken an entry based on the signal which came from TradingView, and the system is running the position for you. For example, here it has triggered a PE, so you feel that okay, got sufficient profit in this. You want to square off, you can do it from here itself. So if you're running a live trade, it will send a order to square off, and the position will get closed for you. So this is how you trigger from Algomojo the square offs. Right? Now, when it comes to rule or any, let me show you. Sorry, the documentation part. If you go to the left side, you will see these tabs. Go to this API. If you scroll for strategy rule, it will give you details of each of these rules. what it does, how it works. The explanation for each of the rules are provided on this. There's a small video which explains also how the rules work. What is long only, what is short only, what is long plus short, buy sell, long plus short, buy sell, short cover, and stop and reverse. So complete details will be provided. Let me try and explain once again what it does, what are the actions taken for each of those rules is also given here, right? Now, when it comes to, let me try and remove these. In case you don't want any of these studies, all you have to do is remove those studies from there. Now, let me try and explain the rules with relation to the strategy of super trend. Super trend is always in trade. So when you want to buy, when there's a buy signal, you want to take a long entry, and when the sell comes, you want the long to be closed and short to be taken. Use the rule called stop and reverse. So when the long comes, it will take a long position either through futures or options, whatever you're trading. And when a short comes, it will stop the long position and take the short position. So if it will close the long future and take the short future, it will close the CE and take the PE. So stop and reverse is the way it works. Now, if you are wanting to trade only, say, for short trades, you don't want to take any long trades. So say, suppose there's a sell which has come here, you want to trigger a PE or take a short position, it will do that. And when a buy comes, it will close that short position and not take any further long position. So that is the rule to be used for short only kind of signals to be processed. So if you want long only, it is vice versa. So use long only. So you have a long only rule, short only rule, and the long plus short. Now, if your strategy has got an entry, for example, like say like buy, and it has got an inbuilt target, say for example, and the target is achieved here at this level, so it will take an exit, and after that it will wait for the new signal to come. Depending on the conditions met, it could trigger another long, or it could take a short, or it could remain without any signals for the entire day or whatever time frame you're trading in. For such kind of strategies, use the rule called long plus short, buy sell, the third rule. Use the third rule called long plus short, buy and sell. The fourth rule is same as the third rule, except that it has got short and cover, which are normally the signals which you find in Amibroker. So if you are an Amibroker user, then use the fourth rule. Otherwise, the functionality is the same. Buy, sell, short and cover. Stop and reverse is similar to the thing which we just saw, super trend kind of thing. Yeah, limitation in terms of number of trades to be taken currently in our platform not available, but coding can be done. Yes. Yeah, like yeah, how to use a trend line for example, to buy a C and buy a P. Let me explain that again. Suppose you identify this as the resistance and say this as the support. So you create two alerts. One is for say, let me remove this also. Let me show it in a new manner. So suppose this is the support level that you have identified, and when the price comes to this level, you want to take an entry. So you identify your support level, go there and say, keep the cursor at that level, and right click and say add alert. Okay. And you say, if you identify the level as say 85,000 in this case, and you want the support the price to go below the support level and then starts coming up, only then the entry has to be taken. Then you mention it as crossing up. Then what it will do is it will wait for the price to go down this level, and then when it starts moving up, and only then it will take an entry. Or if you just say crossing, if the price comes and hits this level, it will take an entry. So either crossing up or crossing down, depending on what you want to do, accordingly select that. Normally, we've seen that if the price hits the support level and starts going up, say goes slightly below and starts going up, you want to take that long entry. So keep it as crossing up, okay? And you enter the value and say only once. And here in the message box, you add the buy message. Under this, you have this indicators, you have this code called buy. The only difference is the buy and sell, that's all. But otherwise, the date, action, everything remains the same. So go back here and say buy. And for if you're trading in, say, Bank Nifty options that we just created, copy that webhook URL and paste it here, right? And say create. Let me add the webhook URL here and say create. So once you create this, it is always available. You will be able to see this dotted line. Now, if you feel that, okay, this is not the support level I want it to take this or consider this as a support level, you drag it down further down and say that, okay, if the price comes to this support level, I want the entry to be taken, and it starts moving up, I want the entry to be taken. So if the price comes down to this level and start moving up, you'll get a buy trigger and the order will be processed. And or if you say that, okay, it may not come down so much, let me try and keep it to this level itself and wait. So it'll trigger. So if the price comes below this level and starts moving up, it'll trigger. So that is how you will create a price based or level based entry. Now here you have taken an entry and you want the, you say that, okay, this is the resistance level. I want, when it comes to this level, I want to close this. Say I want to take a CE here, and when it comes here, I want to close this CE and take a PE, for example. Here we have already created. What is that we have created? I'll just show you. Yeah, we have said that it has to sell when it comes to a value of this. How do we know it has to take a CE and PE is what we have defined here with a rule called stop and reverse. Stop and reverse is a rule that we have used. So what it does is it will say that, okay, here is, if it is crossing up, a buy will be triggered. When buy comes to our system, we know that, okay, you want to trade in ITM, you have selected ITM 5 as the strike price, you want to take a long portion of our ITM 5. So we will place the orders for ITM 5 for you. And when the price goes to this level, you want the CE to be closed and PE to be taken. The sell will be generated because of this level. So we'll close the CE and take the PE for you. That is how it works. It is as simple as that. You can create these lines and just leave it. You can keep shifting them if you feel that, okay, you don't want to trade and just wait out for the day, or either you can stop the alerts that you have created by pausing them, or you can keep shifting them to a different level based on your requirements. So whenever these levels are reached, the triggers will happen. So this is what we drew it as a horizontal line, right? Now suppose you want this, for example, here you have taken the PE and you want that PE to be closed, say, based on a trend line. I'm just drawing this as an example. It could be any kind of study. Or let me So at the resistance, you've taken a PE, and if the price starts going against you, and if the price breaks out the trend line, for example, you're drawn a trend line, for example, you have a study which is um, you have another study which says that okay, if the price goes above this level, then there's a possibility that the market might go up further. So though you took an entry of a PE, for example, here at this resistance level, you have taken a PE, and if the price starts moving up here and crosses this trend line from a different study, you want this PE to be closed and the CE to be taken. You create, instead of this horizontal line way of doing it, you take the draw the trend line, and on this you define that okay, on this trend line crossing up, price crossing up, you buy or a sell. That's it. That is how you create. So when the price comes and crosses above, for example, here, this PE which was taken here will be closed here, and then a CE will be taken. So you took an entry based on the resistance, but you're taking an exit on the breakout of a trend line study. I suppose that is what you are looking at. TradingView, I don't know if you have a logout kind of facility. So suppose you don't want to run any of these studies that you have created in TradingView, all you have to do is go to the study wherever you have created and then pause the alerts like this. So you can stop those alerts or stop those studies. It will not trigger not send the orders when those studies conditions are met as such. Yeah. Any queries? Any other queries? So the rules like are five of them: long only, short only. If you want to trade only long signals, use the long only. If you want to trade only the short signals, use the short only. If you want to trade both of them, then use long plus short. This is for using in Amibroker, which gives you buy, sell, short cover, and stop and reverses. You want to reverse the trade from long to short or short to long. This is the rule to be used as such. We saw how do we do the trade, the alert creation based on super trend and RSI and trend lines, all this. Now, important processes when you're using a strategy, first you have to select the trading symbol, then select the time frame, whether it is 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or 30 minutes, whatever time frame, because alert that you create on a particular time frame will get triggered only on that time frame. Suppose you have created an alert for a 5 minute time frame and you're looking at a 1 hour time frame. If the condition is met at 5 minutes, it will still trigger the order. So be careful in terms of time frame selection, because alert is tied to the time frame and the symbol, and then load the strategy that you want to trade. When the strategy gives buys and signals like a super trend or an alpha trend, whatever, and then create an alert by clicking on that more button and updating the field of message and the notification. In the message, copy it, the content that we give under strategy and the webhook URL relevant for that strategy, and then notification, and say create. That's it. Your alert creation is done, and when the signal comes, the orders will be processed. Indicators, you have to use two steps. One is the similar, they select the symbol and the time frame, and whatever indicator, RSI, or it could be this thing, ADX or MFI, whatever study you want, oscillator you want to use, load that, and then click on the more button. And always you will have multiple conditions to be updated. In strategy, you just had one, Whereas here you have to update the condition and the trigger also, and then update the message box. For indicators and for price-based action, you have to create two alerts, one for entry and one for exit. Whereas for strategy, it is just one. So update the trigger and then the message box and then update the webhook URL. You're done. You're ready for receiving the signals. So indicators and price-based things, you have slightly different conditions highlighted. So based on how you want the entry to happen or trigger, you choose from the drop down given there, whether it's crossing or crossing up or crossing down, greater than. It varies from study to study depending on what you are using in TradingView. Accordingly, select that. When that condition is met, the signal will be generated and it will be sent to us for processing. Now, option strategies, a detailed list of all the options are provided in our blog. There are close to about 15, 16 option strategies. How to set them up, each of them is a step-by-step process is outlined in our blog. In case you want to create and start using them, kindly refer to the blog. Go through each of these strategies, set it up for you, set it up, and then start running it. In case you need any assistance, we are there always to help you out. Do contact us. A bit about our support. We are available on all working days from 9 to 5. On Saturdays, we are there from 10 to 5. You can contact us using WhatsApp or you can call us on this number, or you can raise a ticket or send an email to us, and we will be happy to assist you. My name is Lokesh. In case you need any details or you want any coding to be done, do contact us. Send your requirements to my email ID. We'll be able to revert back to you if it's feasible or not feasible and what is the method for taking it forward. Kindly look at a blog. Each of the functionality, how to use them is given under the blog also. That's it. In case if you have any queries, I'll be happy to clarify. Yeah. See, TradingView is running in the cloud. So after you set up the alert in TradingView, you can switch off the computer, not an issue. Yes, we have these sessions every week, every Saturday. So in case if you have any queries, you can contact us during the working days, or if you want to attend the weekend sessions, we are there. Any queries, any help that you need, any feature clarification information, you can raise it here. We'll be happy to answer them. Thank you. Thanks once again for your time. Wishing you all a very happy weekend. Do contact us for any kind of support. We are there to help you out.